Oh boy. I bring to you the word on the streets in Nigeria. I am Emmanuel the 600. You can call me 600 the God. Can you imagine how it would feel like not to want to go back to your home country? Can you even fathom the thought of being scared of going back to your home country? Well, there's this Nigerian brother in Canada right now who is so scared of going back to his home country, and the videos are sad. I watched the video and I immediately got to know this guy doesn't really want to go back to Nigeria. Why? Because there's one typical thing about Nigerians: they maintain their accent everywhere they go. But this guy does not even have like the thick Nigerian accent. This guy doesn't really want to come back to Africa or Nigeria. His videos are sad though, but I believe I listened to him talking. I'm like, bro, is he Ghanaian? So I heard he's Nigerian. That brother doesn't really want to come back to the country. He's scared of coming back to the country of Nigeria. What is so scary in Nigeria that these guys don't want to come back home? This is the first person. I think a Nigerian is the first person who do not want to go back to his country. Who does not want to go back to his country? Even having that as his last resort. So let's watch the video of this young man in Canada. He looks like a student. Yeah. And he's battling an addiction. So in this first video, what you are going to realize is one man is filming him and asking him, yo, bro, why did you leave the hospital? And this young man expresses how scared he was, thinking they were going to abandon him and bring him back to Africa. Precisely, West Africa, Nigeria. He's so scared of going back to his home country. And that was funny for a minute, till I saw the second video. So in the second video, he went back to the hospital. And after going back to the hospital, they told him to spend 2 weeks off crack, allegedly. Or in the video, you could hear them talk about crack. So that means he's addicted to crack. This young man goes to the hospital. He's supposed to stay clean for 2 weeks in the hospital. And guess what? He's back on the streets. That is the most Nigerian thing I've ever heard. Then my ears hot.
You smoke crack.
Okay.
Don't laugh at, buddy. How old are you? 21, 22, 23?
26.
26. Yeah. It's not that fucking old. You left why? Because you want crack, right?
Not just because of crack. I feel like you're planning to just come bundle me in my sleep and take me to Nigeria. I don't know. I feel like I don't know about that.
Buddy?
And would that even be bad?
Yeah, that's why I said if it's going to happen, at least let people see it. You know.
So you left from the hospital, you're supposed to be there right now? Why don't you go back?
Well, 24 hours already.
Why'd you leave? I don't understand.
I'm not comfortable there anymore. Because when I start hearing voices, thinking as the nurses, like,
See psychology?
I know.
Come out of it. They're helping you out.
Bro, smash it. Right now.
He won't do it. Okay, he's gonna come again and stand and ask for it again.
I respect it. Now go back to the hospital.
well,
Marcel. So you went to the hospital?
got readmitted, and right now, like, they won't even give me my clothes back. They just left me on the hospital gown because they feel I wouldn't come back. They want me to come back and complete my treatment because they said, like, I still have some infections and still my blood, the hemoglobin is still low. And yeah, so they want me to come back to the hospital. So for that reason, they won't give me my clothes. They just give me the hospital gown. The game plan is from going to detox. Like if I can stay 2 weeks off, I'm trying.
Stay 2 weeks in the hospital?
2 weeks off crack and everything. Today was supposed to be the 5th day off, but I relapsed.
Fuck, bro.
Yeah, so I see a lot of comments showing love and everything, but there's still something, let him go back home. That's not good.
Everybody's saying to go back home, bro. Yeah, everyone's saying. Me?
Nah, Raid paid me more than enough. You don't understand, though. Like,
watching the video closely, what do you see in the video? I guess a lot of people are going to say you just see a young man who is addicted to crack or who has an addiction who does not want to come back home. But I did not see that. I see beyond that. What am I seeing? Let me share my thoughts with you. I just see a young man from a continent that is so broken because of how corrupt our leaders are. A young man from a continent where there is no hope for the younger generation. A young man from a continent where the youth cannot even dream because of how corrupt the systems are, because of how corrupt these institutions are. A young man from a continent where these old heads in authority or these old heads in charge of our institutions are looting and milking the whole country dry without accountability. That is what I'm seeing, and it's so sad. I'm not just seeing a young guy who is schooling abroad and has an addiction. That is not the story. Because you listen to him clearly, and this young man does not want to come back to Nigeria. What is so scary? Yes, that is how scary it gets. A young man from a continent where people in authorities' children do not even school in Africa. Why? Because there is no hope. They do not believe in these institutions. They send their kids elsewhere or overseas to gain wisdom and come back to rule us. That is what I'm seeing. A young man from a continent where most of our leaders do not even get medical aid in the country. They get it elsewhere because they are afraid. Yes, they will die in the country. That is a young man I'm seeing. A young man from a broken Africa, which is supposed to rise. And I'm very passionate about this. This is not only a Nigerian problem. It's a Ghanaian problem. Because as I grew up with so many of my peers who literally had no hope when you mentioned their country. Who had no hope, who felt their dreams were shattered because they could not leave their country, who thought their dreams were shattered because they lost or they missed out on a U.S. embassy appointment. They were denied. And this is the story of so many people living in Africa. Right now, scams and fraud are plaguing our youth. Why? Because the youth see that as the only way to be able to make ends meet. There are so many people out of the universities who do not have jobs. This is not only this young man's problem. It's a problem, it's a canker that we need to fight it out. Things must change in Africa. Oh, this is going to happen because most of our human resources are leaving the country. And it's happening thick and fast. It's going to come to a point where these other nations are going to tell us, go back to your country and fix your country because you are taking our jobs. And it started already. What are our leaders doing? Our leaders are back home, siphoning a lot of money. And there is no accountability. Our leaders are evading so many things because there is no accountability. And there is no hope for any young man. I'd like to keep it short, but I poured my heart out. This is not the story of a young man on the streets of Canada who has an addiction. This is a story of a young man from Africa, from Nigeria, from Kenya, from Ghana, from Sierra Leone, who is made out of this broken system and finds himself somewhere because he thought he could make ends meet. There are so many young people like that in Africa who are smart but do not have the opportunities. They are very smart, but there is no opportunity, and the standard of living is so high that these people are suffocating. And at any chance, these people would forever want to leave the country. we must stay and fight, and that has always been the mentality. We must stay and build, and that has always been the mentality. Start taking accountability as an African right now. I am Emmanuel Ado 600, and I brought you the word on the streets. I'm signing out.